There's at least 30 minutes of sex scenes in this one. Like, it had to be.
This had to be. 90 minutes.
There were some sex scenes that, like, would be sex scene and then cut away and then cut back into the sex scene, like, 2 or 3 more times. I'm like, all right, we get it, you know?
Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Del.
And this is the Black Catch-Up, where we're catching up on iconic black media we missed out on in our more conservative religious childhood.
All right, so today was another... So today was another Spike Lee joint, School Daze.
Yes, it was also a viewer request. Longtime friend of the show, Derrick Spence Jr., who requested this for us.
Oh, yeah.
So, as always, IMDb. A not-so-popular young man wants to pledge to a popular fraternity at his historically black college.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that is... Okay.
Yeah, that is what happened, I guess, yeah. Alright, so I guess, as usual, starting off with things we liked about this one.
Yes.
I guess, you want to kick this off? Or?
Yeah, I'll start this one off. This one, as we said, is Spike Lee joint, so we had a lot of those really good Spike Lee-isms that he's known for, especially the, like, straight-to-camera kind of talking that he tends to do. We had a lot of that, and some other, like... You know the Spike Lee-isms. Those are always really fun to see. And as we've seen more Spike Lee movies and films on this channel, it's been really good to kind of like see how he's kind of honed in his craft as a director. This is one of his first ones, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree with all that. Like, I thought like the cinematography was good. He had like a lot of like just like very clean shots that, you know, we see in a lot of his films now.
Yeah.
I also thought there were like a good amount of like funny moments in this one. The two I had like highlighted in my notes were I thought the speech before the football game was funny, and then them getting like blown out by like 40, and like the crowd like starts off cheering, and then by the end they're like kind of upset and like booing the team.
The football game was funny.
Yeah, so I thought that was a funny scene, and then the scene where Daryl, his name was Dap, right? The main Lawrence Fishburne's character is like...
I think it was Dap, yeah, because Daryl sounds too normal.
Yeah, I know his last name was something that was like close to Dap, but it wasn't Dap. But anyway,
I think it was Dap.
He the scene where he was like going to like Rachel's dorm at night and like all the girls were like yelling at him and like calling him a loser outside. I thought that scene was funny.
Hilarious.
But
that was a good one.
Yeah, I just thought this one had like a lot of like funny scenes in this one, honestly.
Yeah. One of the specific scenes that I liked was the step event that they had. I think it was to show the different fraternities. I just liked watching it. Like, some of the step looked really cool. I didn't go to an HBCU, so I don't know much about... And I also didn't join a sorority or anything, so I don't know much about, like, the pledging life or anything like that. But the step event looked pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I thought that
I have a con to that one, but, like, so far.
Oh, yeah, yeah. On a similar note, I thought a lot of like the musical numbers were pretty fun to watch. I did like that like first like hair number they did.
I liked
like the
that
natural hair versus like the, I guess, not natural group or whatever.
But it was also kind of natural though.
Yeah. It was
because it was like, it was hard to tell, but it was like sort of, it basically had to do with the movie's major themes, which I did enjoy, which is a lot of the colorism and education and stuff like that within the black community. So it's not like the black people have like an outside stressor, like they do kind of with not getting enough funding. But a lot of it was mostly internal, like very specific black problems where it's like colorism, like, oh, my hair is good hair because I'm super light skin and mixed, so it's like easier to deal with or whatever, whereas the darker skinned black women have like more nappy hair, so it's a little harder to deal with, and it's like not seen as beautiful and da. We know all hair is beautiful, all hair is good hair, yada yada. But just that little bits. Yeah,
no, I definitely did like the themes in this one. But yeah couldn't have more. So you want to go ahead?
Oh yeah. So I also liked the argument that they had with Samuel L. Jackson's character. Is it a Spike Lee movie if we don't see Samuel L. Jackson? Like, is it... I I think that might even count as a Spike Lee-ism.
Yeah.
But from his first calling out to Dab and his friends, not Dab, did he call it to? He called out to, I think, Juan Carlos Esposito? No, who did he call out? No, he called out to Lawrence Fishburne. I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember this. Even though I watched it like a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
But even when he was calling out to them, like, I was like, oh, Samuel Jackson. And just their argument about, again, the whole education thing. And it's like, you think you're so much better than us because you go to school and you're trying to be white. But when it comes down to it, you're black just like us. Like, that great scene. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I had anything else. Oh, no, I also did like the kind of final like pledge crossing scene where they're like holding the torches and like all the people are yelling at them to keep up the torches, and that was kind of like their final initiation into the furniture. Yeah, I did like that kind of whole scene, and how I liked how it was shot, and like how I really liked how that scene was like shot. Kind of like a lot of like close-ups on all their faces kind of thing, like
again, those Spike Lee-isms.
Yeah, exactly.
Like face. He likes your face.
Mm-hmm.
He's the opposite of Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. But all right. Did you have anything else, or?
No, that was all I had for positives.
Okay. Yeah. I guess we can get into negatives now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll start this one. My major problem with this one was like we mentioned all the good themes in this one, but I thought it like kind of lost focus toward like the middle end, and like kind of just abandoned a lot of those themes and like a lot of those like discussions it was having in like the first portion of the movie, and it kind of chose to focus on the whole like half pint being a virgin thing.
Yeah.
Which like I don't know, it just seemed like the like least interesting of all the different like themes they were bringing up in the beginning.
Of all the things we could bring up, yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't know, I just felt like, especially like toward the middle, like I feel like there was a large chunk where like Lawrence Fishburne's character wasn't even in the movie. We were just kind of like chasing not like Half Pint's character around, and like so that was like my main gripe. I feel like it like teased a lot of these like like discussions on these like serious themes in the black community and things like that, and then kind of just abandoned it to become like essentially like a standard like college party movie, or not college party, but just like that like more like a standard like, oh, we gotta sleep with girls kind of movie, so that was kind of my biggest gripe with this one.
Yeah, I too thought this one was discombobulated. Like it just got a little fuzzy there for a sec. And you mentioned you liked the musical numbers. I liked this I liked the idea of this as a musical in theory more than in practice, just because there was one actual musical number, I believe, where with the women talking about their hair, and this is so mean. Singers they are not, so I didn't get the fun like vocals you would get in a musical. Yeah. And then the other music was just basically like people singing in like a performance way instead of advancing the plot kind of way. It would just be like, because I think after that they had another song and dance where the girls were the sorority, I guess, was trying to get people to pledge their sorority, I assume. And then they had a bunch of them where like the sex scenes, it would also be like overlaid with a random guy just singing. Yeah. Or like just another person singing, and I was like, what? Why is he singing? What is? So I like the idea of this as a musical, especially because I thought it started off, I'll say strong in quotes, because again, the vocals were not in the way that I want a musical to be. But it started off kind of strong with, so it's going to be like every time they fight or have an argument, it's going to be a musical number where we kind of like strip down all of the coded language that they're using into like, basically, we're talking about hair. You're a jigaboo, you're like want to be white because you straighten your hair. Like, I thought we were going to do that. We did not. Yeah. No, I actually 100% agree with that. I didn't know this was a musical going into it. And so seeing that first scene, I was like, oh, this is like a musical. Like, this should be fun. And then they like kind of abandoned that, like those like more classical musical numbers that are like integrated with the plot. And like you said, it seemed like they were just kind of like elevating some background singing. And I thought it really slowed the movie down in a lot of scenes, or like especially because it was mostly the sex scenes that they did it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
and there were a lot of sex scenes in this one. There were a lot of sex scenes in this one too.
And every time some guy was like doing this like whole big mic'd up performance.
Yeah.
Really?
It was like a big like, all right, this is the moment to tune out until the song and sex scene's over. But yeah, I 100% agree. Like I thought a few of the musical numbers stood like really good on their own, but like I just didn't think they were well like integrated into the movie and just like ended up being very odd. And I don't know if this even needed to be a musical. Like
it did not.
If they were going to do musical, they needed to go all out like they did for that first musical number. But since they didn't, like the musical aspect just felt like, again, it just felt like it was slowing it down, and like it was even hard to tell like, okay, is this like intentionally trying to be the musical, or is this just like background singing that normally happens in a movie kind of thing? So yeah, no, I really think they missed the mark with the musical aspect on this one. But like the music itself was good, and like some of the scenes stood on their own. But like as a movie, I don't know, I didn't like it.
Yeah. The only reason I brought up the musical part was I knew this was supposed to be a musical. I'm going to use musical very loosely now. But I knew it was supposed to be a musical because when I was looking it up to like get ready to watch, what I personally do is I look at the two movies we pick and I find the one that has the shortest time and I watch that one last. And this one had to be first. So I was like, okay, and I was looking for the time of it and it was like musical and I was like, oh, interesting, we got a musical. And we did not get a musical.
We absolutely did not. We did for like the first 10 minutes. The first 10-15 minutes, it was definitely a musical. But even that scene like kind of came out of nowhere. Like, because it was almost like not a flashback, but like a alternate reality kind of musical scene, which I think they could have just had it be a real scene, you know? Almost. Yeah.
I felt as though that could have worked though, where like it's the subtext. If you'd made all the musical numbers the subtext that they're not saying, that could have worked, but they did not do that. So.
No, they really didn't continue with that at all.
Yeah,
I think those are my two main gripes. The last one was just, again, like I said, like I just thought it fell flat toward like the middle ending where we pretty much focused on that plot with Half Pint and sleeping with whoever it was.
I have two, but these are the like problematic ones. So of course, using the F slur in chants during the step event.
Yeah.
I was like, this ain't it, and it went on for a bit too because it was like when I say, I can't remember his fraternity. It was when I say blank, you say F slur, blank, F slur. That went on for too long for me. And too long is starting it at all, because it shouldn't have started at all. And then everything about the virgin bone room sequence scene.
That was uncomfortable. That was uncomfortable to watch.
That was like bad uncomfortable. I was like, ooh. Because it felt very rapey.
It did.
Because it felt very rapey. And then to have Juan Carlo Esposito like yelling at Tisha Campbell's character after he
like the complete gaslighting at the end too. Like it was just very manipulative. Like
it was very
I didn't like that either.
I felt I needed to like go to the police after I was watching that. I was like, oh my god, I hated that so much.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the whole like second half of the movie. I was just like, I don't care about this storyline and it's creepy and it's weird in every way. Like. I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense because literally who cares? Like, what does it have to do with you? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
and again, like in the beginning, they were like, again, like the so much of the beginning was them talking about these like real issues and like there was even that moment where like Lawrence Fishburne gets snapped on and like accused of being a colorist and like, oh, you're only dating me because I'm the darkest girl here, and they like never bring that up again, and then we like chase Half Pint down like this like weird...
Plus the whole thing where he could have gotten suspended if he kept protesting.
Yeah, like nothing came of that. Like it just seemed like we like got like teased all these like real things and real conversations, then nothing came of it. But like the only thing we got closure on was again like this little Half Pint like creepily sleeping with whoever that, you know, it's just I don't know. I didn't like the second half of this movie.
No, me neither.
All right, I guess we're ready for ratings.
Yeah. You go first.
Yeah, I'll kick this one off. I did give this one a 2. I wasn't a huge fan. Like it again, like I thought the beginning was pretty good. And it did have a lot of good moments and good scenes in it, which I did appreciate, but just as a movie, I just don't think it worked well. You know, between them like kind of losing focus on those like larger issues and choosing to focus on Half Pint's thing, as well as like the musical aspect just not being integrated well and just really slowing it down. This one was like a little tough to get through, honestly. Not my favorite.
Yeah, I gave this a 1.5 out of 5. Like I said, it was very discombobulated. more so than a typical Spike Lee movie. Mm-hmm. And we didn't mention this, but this I think is supposed to take place over a weekend, because they were mentioning Friday. Did I imagine like cards with like title like days?
No, yeah, that did happen, because there was also those weird title cards that would be like whatever Mission College and then like a pendant going across the screen animated.
But I'm pretty sure this takes place over a weekend.
Too. Yeah,
which is like, I typically love. You guys know I love when you give me like a very like finite amount of time, and we just stick in that time and nowhere else. But oh my god, hate. It made no sense. Like time, I didn't like that. Yeah. The musical, it was not a musical, which is a big ding if you're going to describe it as a musical. I have certain expectations. However, I did enjoy the overall message and the push-pull about blackness, and colorism, hair, education. All that was good, but it just got it was in this really muddy, kind of messy story for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. Not my favorite Spike Lee joint.
No, yeah, not mine either. Final question: do you wish you saw this one sooner?
No.
yeah, that's a pretty easy no for me too. Like, there are other Spike Lee films I'd rather have seen. You know.
Yeah, She's Gotta Have It. I would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one? The one day, the Heat one. What is that one? You know which one I'm talking about. Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing was good.
This one, if you want to see a Spike Lee movie, I would recommend those two definitely over this one.
Yeah, but that was School Daze. Yeah.
Thank you, Derrick Spence Jr. for recommending this.
Yeah, thanks for the recommendation. We do appreciate all recommendations.
Don't let our critiques sway you from recommending things.
Yeah. But if we bash your favorite movie, it's not our fault. You know.
You just need a better favorite movie.
Yeah, I have better taste. Let's get it. But YouTube housekeeping: like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any movie suggestions for us, you can leave them in the comments down below. We do movies on Tuesdays and Fridays. All of our socials will be linked in the description box down below, and we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye. Because I'm looking at this on my iPad. I'm just seeing our mom coordinating with Josh.
I'm like, what is going on with this chat? Like, why is this not a personal message? Like, are there snacks in your apartment? Nothing to do with us.
I was like, what is that?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, should I know something? I was like, did I miss something? Like, should I have snacks right now?
I was looking at that too, because it started popping up towards the end of this, and I was like, snacks?
Yeah.
And then I was like, why am I in this chat about snacks?
Yeah, I was confused as well.
Oh my gosh.
I must have missed some side conversation that happened or something.
I know. That warranted all these snacks that all of us need to be included.
Apparently.
Joshua, if you're watching, did you get those snacks?
Yeah. Well, hope they're coming in soon, you know? It's tough out there.